It's time to predict the scores of week 22 of this 2022-2023 Premier League season. Back in week 21, which was prior to last week because of the FA Cup, fourth round it was last week, we had Maloglu with a magnificent score of 14.5 points at the top of the tree, beating the likes of Louis Smith 17, who got 13.5 points. Moving to top of the leaderboard though is Ferris 77, who is now on 200.5 points, taken over from the likes of Sportcat 01 and Bogner Rocks, who is on 194.5 points along with the full 90. But let's move swiftly on and make some predictions for week 22.
Okay, so first up we got the Friday night at 8 o'clock, the Fulham derby between Chelsea and Fulham. Quite an interesting one, this one. Fulham have started to dip a little bit now, losing their last two on the bounce. However, it was against Newcastle and Tottenham, so cut them a bit of slack really. But Chelsea, where do we start with their transfer business?
Absolutely ridiculous. They broke the transfer record in the UK as well with Fernandes.
Yeah, 107 million quid. I mean, you normally see these fees signing a striker. At the end of the day, someone who scores goals comes at a premium, but not for a midfielder. That's completely unheard of. But yeah, some absolutely mental deals coming in on there. That stupid João Felix loan, which of course started in disaster. Murdoch, £89 million.
Amazing player.
What? Yeah, amazing player, but it's quite mad. And losing Jorginho, some really versatile, experienced players in there. Bizarre. Interesting one. I'm going to go with this one. I can see Fulham bouncing back.
Really?
And I think they will, just with a draw 1-1.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of talent has come in to Stamford Bridge. Fulham, 2 losses on the trot. Chelsea, 2 clean sheets now, a draw away against Liverpool and a home win against Crystal Palace. I think that Chelsea will continue the clean sheets. Kepa's looking good in goals, and I'm actually going to go for a 2-0 win and can see some of these players getting off to a great start. Incidentally, that match is on Friday evening. The first of the Saturday matches takes place at lunchtime, 12:30 on Saturday the 4th. We've got Everton coming up against Arsenal. Arsenal currently 25 points on the road this season, and Everton just the 8 points. Everton in the relegation zone, losing 5 of their last 6 fixtures. Arsenal top of the tree, 5 points ahead of Manchester City with a game in hand. They're top of the away table as well. I can only see one winner in this one. It's the Gunners. Everton have lost Gordon to Newcastle. 2-0. For me, for Arsenal.
Yeah, this is not going in Everton's favour at all, of course. They brought Sean Dyche in. First training session, players looked absolutely knackered. He put them through it and he was laughing. And the second day, he put them through a bleep test. So he's putting them through hell, which is what they need. So, but yeah, this Everton squad has somehow weakened. Is that even possible, considering the state they've been this season? So I'm going to go 4-0 Arsenal.
And look at that. Everton didn't bring anyone in either. Even like Rondon was going out.
Rondon would have been great under Dyche. That's the problem.
Nkunku, but he was at Cardiff.
He was shocking at Cardiff.
Saint Etienne, but the biggest one was Anthony Gordon. And when you consider that Arsenal have made some decent signings in the likes of Jorginho from Chelsea and Trossard, really, and also Kiwa, I think it is from Spiza. Not too sure who that. Yeah, not too sure who where he even plays, but we'll find out soon enough.
Interesting. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we've got the first of the 3 o'clocks between Villa and Leicester. Now, Leicester, shocking form as of late, isn't it? Not going well for Brenda's boys, whereas Aston Villa, on the other end of the scale, very, very good under Mr. Good Evening in Unai Emery. Only 1 loss in 6, winning their last 2 matches against Leeds and Southampton. Teams around them, they need to be winning. That trend is going to continue. 2-1 Aston Villa.
2-1, yeah. I can only see one team winning this, and it would be Villa. However, that game against Brighton 2-2, they did look good, scoring a couple of goals in that one, albeit they did concede as well. going to sit on the fence on this one. I think that Leicester can actually get a point at Villa Park, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Then, also at 3 o'clock, we've got Brentford, home against Southampton. Brentford looking very good at the moment. No losses in their last 6 matches.
Very good.
A draw in game week 21, away against Leeds. Okay, it was a 0-0 draw, but at home, they are very, very strong. Southampton, on the other hand, bottom of the table. Okay, they did get a victory in a couple of weeks ago away against Everton, but they've been knocked out of the Carabao Cup now. They did beat Blackpool in the FA Cup. That'll give them a little bit of confidence.
But then again, that's a Mick McCarthy team at the bottom foot of the championship.
Absolutely, and they've got bigger fish to fry, haven't they? All things to worry about. So I can only see one winner in this one. It's going to be the Bees stinging the Saints 3-1.
Yeah, easy victory for Brentford here. 2-0, keep clean sheet, standard win. Southampton, confidence, another team that I didn't really think strengthened as much as they needed to in the transfer window. Anyway, next up we got Brighton against Bournemouth. Interesting one. Brighton, everyone knows how good form they are in at the moment. At this rate, they're probably going to qualify for Europe. They just need to tidy up a little bit and not lose these games that they should really be winning, i.e. the Villa one, but that was back in November. They should have really beaten Leicester as well on top of that. They're coming up against a Bournemouth side, hit and miss. They did draw against Nottingham Forest, which you could say was a good result for them, but ever since then, leaking goals. So
prior to them,
guess what they're going to do? Leak goals. 3-0 to Brighton.
I think they will leak goals, but it won't be as leaky as your prediction, Nathan. I'm going to go for a 2-0 home victory to Brighton. As you say, 6th position in the table at the moment, 5 points behind Spurs with 2 games in hand. So if they can win their games in hand as well, they could maybe force themselves, if they're really lucky, into the Champions League spots, or in contention anyway. 2-0 on this in the South Coast derby for me. Then we move on to Manchester United against Crystal Palace. Man United got 2 games this week. They're in action this evening in the Carabao Cup against Nottingham Forest. So they've got a bit of a fixture congestion at the moment. They should have enough to beat this Crystal Palace side, who have only won once in their last 6 matches. And Manchester United looking really good at the moment. Okay, they did lose last time in that top of the table clash against Arsenal, and prior to that, a draw against Palace wasn't too clever, but they have brought in Sabitzer now, who's a very good player. Eriksen's out, he's in there to plug a hole. They're looking very good, Man United. 2-0 to the Red Devils for me. Yeah,
I do think Palace will give them a game, considering they only played a couple of weeks ago. So, I'm probably going to go just edge it to Man United though, but I can see Palace scoring. I'm going to go 2-1 to the Red Devils at home. Anyway, moving on at the last of the 3 o'clocks, we've got Wolves against Liverpool. Now, Liverpool hapless recently. Fans are moaning at their owners for not investing in the midfield. However, I think that's a Jurgen Klopp issue, to be honest, because he's not pushing for the new players in midfield, and he's been stubborn to keep the likes of Milner and your Hendersons.
Wasn't it in that 4-4-2s, wasn't it?
Wow, just a little bit. Yeah, that was funny, that one. But
and losing in the FA Cup,
moaning, aren't they?
Did they lose in the FA Cup?
They did to Brighton, and Brighton beat them 3-0 the other week as well. So then they're not happy there at Anfield, are they? And they're coming up against a Wolves side who they're currently in 17th position under Lopetegui. They're doing all right. Yes, they did have that blip against Manchester City, but I don't know. I can see them getting a result here at home, 1-1.
Yeah, I'm going to exactly the same as you, Nathan. I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. Liverpool away from Anfield this season haven't been great at all. Gakpo hasn't found his shooting boots. Nunes, we know his issues, but when he does pop up, he does get plenty of chances, but he's not putting them away. Wolves a little bit more resolute than they have been. They'll want to get a point at least in this match, and I think they will. 1-1. Then we move on to the 5:30 kickoff. We've got Newcastle coming up against West Ham. Newcastle through in the Carabao Cup.
Confidence sky high in the North East.
Southampton. They are. The fans right behind them as well. Terrific atmosphere there at St James's Park, I've been told and heard. West Ham, 16th in the league. A good win last time out against Everton. A couple of Jarrod Bowen goals in that one. However, Newcastle a different proposition. They've brought in players as well. not lost in their last 6. Actually, they've only lost once all season, haven't they? Best defence in the whole of the division. So I'm going to go for a straightforward 2-0 victory to the Magpies.
Interesting. Going to go one better than that. I'm going to go 3-1. I do think West Ham will score though.
Well, Newcastle have only scored more than 1 goal in their last 6 matches, which was a away win against Leicester. So
that is true. However, I confidence is sky high there. West Ham, well, I think they are getting better, especially that Danny Ings signing I thought was very good. I do think Newcastle have just got way too much with their confidence at the moment, so 3-1 to them. Next up, we've got the Sunday 2 o'clock fixture between Nottingham Forest and Leeds. Of course, Forest are playing tonight, so they get that little bit less rest than Leeds. You could say, but have you seen the amount of signings they've had in the window again? And a couple with that, all their signings in the summer. I can't believe they signed Keylor Navas, a 4-time Champions League winner. That's mad.
Yeah, and Chris Wood they've got, and John Joe Salvi, so they've got some quality in there.
Absolutely. And then Leeds signing Weston McKennie as well from Juventus. That's a ridiculous signing on loan. Basically America in the midfield there, so difficult one to suggest. If it was me, whoever was playing at home was going to win this one 2-1. As Forest are at home, Forest are going to win 2-1. There you go. 2-1.
I think that the spoils will be shared in this one. Leeds, okay, they haven't won in their last 6 matches. It was a draw last time out against Brentford at home. Looked quite solid in that one. They did score a hatful of goals in the FA Cup against Cardiff recently. I think they will get a goal in this one. Up front wise, they've got quite a lot of talent. Is it Gnotto? Patrick Bamford's coming back into the side. Rodrigo can knock them in as well. So Greenwood as well is there. So I think they'll get a goal, but if Nottingham Forest can bed in these players really quickly, they could take all 3 points in this one. But I will go for a draw 1-1. Moving on to the 4 kick-off on Sunday. We've got Spurs against Manchester City, probably the game of the week. Spurs always give Man City a good game, don't they? At home, they'll want to pick up some points here, particularly losing 3 of their last 6 matches. They did get a 1-0 victory over Fulham in the last fixture as well. Manchester City, okay, back-to-back victories in the league now, and they'll want to continue that form, that momentum. I think they'll just edge past Spurs with a 2-1 victory. Cancelo, apparently there was a training room fracas, or a training ground fracas.
Hence why he's gone.
Off to Bayern Munich.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a massive loss of Man City. And Man City have gone backwards, I think, this transfer window. Only bought in Perone from Vélez Sarsfield. Interesting one, that one. However, I don't know. I think they're going to do big in the summer, to be honest. Whereas Tottenham, this is the game. Even though we've just said it, that they do give Man City a good game, they're going to be Spursy. 4-1 Man City.
4-1. Wow. Brilliant.
Indeed. And then the final match, and finally, an extra one. Man United versus Leeds, the Roses Derby on the 8th of Feb at 8 o'clock. Where do I go with this one? I can't stand Leeds, as everyone knows. I'm going to back Man United 3-1.
3-1, wow. I've gone exactly the same as you. I may even treble captain Marcus Rashford this week in the fantasy football. Yeah, I think they will concede Man United. I think they'll probably keep a clean sheet against Crystal Palace, who they drew with only a few game weeks ago as well. But yeah, I've got 3 points going to the Red Devils in this one. At home, they've been excellent this season. 3-1 Manchester United. That concludes our predictions for week 22 of this 2022-2023 Premier League season. As always, make sure you leave your predictions at the Super Brew website. Link in the description. Code there if you haven't joined in the fun already. And also leave a comment with your predictions in as well, because we do like to read each and every one of us. Nathan, this weekend, Cardiff City playing Hull. We're not actually going to that fixture. Will you be giving the viewers any content on your channel this weekend?
I have no idea.
I'm sure they'd love it. But that's it from us for another week. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Everybody seems to do that. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But for now, thanks for joining us once again. Thanks for all your support. We'll see you all in the next video.
I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna